minutes of the last meeting and then into the finance reports. Which I don't have. Okay. You all right?
Yeah, she's okay.
Okay.
I don't have the minutes. I can print those off.
Well, we'll wait on the minutes.
Okay.
George, you have the financials.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the minutes. The minutes are fine. With regards to financials, since Mike's not here, I've been through these, and of course, Tom's here, he built them. Obviously, we're in the last month of the fiscal year. The financials that you've got with you are through 11 months so far. So far, we're right on target with budget. We're actually under budget by about 10% at this particular point in time. How are we doing with capital? All of the capital expenditures in here, or do we got a few more to go?
There is about $6,000 in open POs, and that's it.
Okay. Of course, we want to try to get everything in that we can.
Yeah, everything we haven't placed any orders since like October 15th.
Okay.
I mean, August 15th. Everything.
Hopefully that'll make your job a little bit easier.
I think there's only three open POs.
Is it due because of COVID, they won't be able to help you with what you need?
No, it's just gear takes a while, radios, end of year, they take a while. So,
Do you want to come out of this budget, or are you gonna push it over to next year?
we're gonna try and get it pushed. You know, that's why we ordered it when we did, to get it delivered before October 1.
Yeah, I'll do it this year.
We got 3 weeks.
We've just about got the text pool accounts set up the way that we want them. We finally got that third account open.
Oh, you did?
Yes, but unfortunately, they labeled the account wrong, and I asked them to change it, and they can't change it unless there's a signed form, a file maintenance form. And it takes 2 of us to sign these. So I set this up for me and Brother Trainer, since he's the treasurer, and now Mike's not here. So somewhere in the next few days, I gotta try to chase Mike down, get him to sign those, and then we'll have the text pool accounts lined out the way that we wanted them to be from the beginning.
George, are they in Houston? Can you drop the paperwork off in Houston?
Yeah, I can, it's just, they're downtown, I mean, they're like 20 miles away or something, and then, of course, with the COVID thing nowadays, it's just better to put it in the mail. I think you get it there just as fast. I got a question though. We got a $100,000 credit on our bank account statement from the First State Bank in Livingston, Texas. Does anybody know what that is?
That's the sale of that
That's the
truck.
sale of the brush truck.
That's the sale of the brush truck, okay.
So they gave us a
Okay.
$100,000 draft and then a $15,000 ESD check.
Okay. That was just an oddball transaction. I'm like, where did that come from?
Who's that masculine lady?
There she is.
Like
That's
Chinese
how
school
we're doing
comes in
another
here.
meeting first.
We did.
You're finished.
We're finished.
You're not
Well,
like,
I timed the food.
That's all right, no problem.
good shape.
Anybody got any other questions about the bank statement or the financials?
I know.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the financials as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll second.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, finance is done.
Thank you, madam. What's next?
Take a break.
I was just looking over the minutes of the last meeting and stuff, so I don't know if the other guys had an opportunity to look it over. Anybody, did y'all look over? Jim,
What's that?
minutes of the last meeting?
No, I wrote it.
Hey, look at my project, I'm good.
I looked at it 3 times.
Okay. I have a motion on the meetings of the last meeting.
I'll make a motion, accept.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, move on. Mrs. Secretary, do we have anything you wanna talk about
I got a
here?
vote, hold on. I have no,
No
no reports,
correspondence?
no correspondence due.
Okay.
All right, good deal. All right, we'll move on to Chris.
Call volume's creeping back up. As you know, we did slow a bit due to COVID, but now it is actually growing quickly. About 80 runs a month. We did have 2 structure fires in our territory and 2 outside of our territory. We also had 3 vehicle extrications. We had a couple of pretty bad ones this month. Mutual aid was also up due to grass fires. Where we see most of our mutual aid. We do have our hiring process going on for the new positions. We hope to do final or on-site interviews in October, around October 5th. We just completed open enrollment for current employees. And our fire academy is almost ready to wrap up, and we're about ready to send the first 4 people from our fire academy to live burns and hopefully get them certified pretty quick. 2 of those are our people, and 2 of those are volunteers from us, and 2 are from Floresville Fire. We've got a pretty decent pool of applicants. We've got about 10 people right now on the list. All of the spending, as we talked about, has been done. We've got 3 open POs open, roughly. And really this month, we're just sitting tight, hoping for the best on equipment and repairs and things like that. So, anybody have any questions on the reports, the metrics?
What is fire is the other, that's just call?
So, yeah, the others are vehicle fires, grass fires, trash fires,
Okay,
etc.
get structures and fire on, okay. That's it. Anybody else have any questions for Chris? If not, we'll move on to, review of our old business, 2020 proposed budget.
I think we've talked budget to death over the last 3 or 4 meetings, so
I think it's bare bones.
I think, yeah, it's bare bones at this point, so I think we can go ahead and just make a motion to accept the budget as presented at the last meeting by Chris.
Gary, I'm gonna have to move over to my computer real quick. Pardon the interruption.
No problem.
To be honest with you, I can't think we had that already approved, but
I thought so too.
Yes,
But we had
the
it,
budget is approved, it's just on here in case you wanted to make any amendments to it.
right, so.
Do we have to revise
Point
to
oh eight
come back
one.
down?
I don't think so.
So you made the motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the budget as proposed.
Bill second. All in favor of the 2020 proposed budget?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's done. Okay, any discussion, action on the proposed 2020 tax rate? We knew we went from .084 back down to .081.
Correct.
Made the motion.
All right, if there's no discussion, then I'll just go ahead and make the motion that I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .081 per $100 valuation, which is effectively a 4.113% increase in the tax rate.
Okay. Do you want to, do we read the order on the?
I can read the order, but the order really only goes into effect if the board approves this. So I think you need to vote, then I can read the order.
Also a discussion on the new business.
So there's a proposal on, or there's a motion on the floor.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Proceed.
So with that being said, then, let it be ordered that on the 10th day of September 2020, be it known that the Emergency Service District of Wilson County number 1 hereby adopted a majority vote of 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 present and not voting, 1 absent. The district added Valerian tax for the 2020 tax year as follows: the debt rate of 0.00 per hundred and a maintenance and operating rate of 0.081 per $100 of valuation, for a total 2020 ad valorem rate of 0.081 per hundred dollars of valuation of the appraised property within the boundaries of the district. For the Texas Code, paragraph 26.05, all taxes raised by said rate will be used to fund the maintenance and operating expenditures of the district for the next year. The district has no debt rate. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. Wilson County Emergency Service District number 1 adopted a tax rate that will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than the last year's tax rate. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 3.184% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $2. Ordered by the 10th day of September, ordered on the 10th day of September 2020. And it will be signed by the president, Mr. Kiyomaza. So that one's going to go in the paper, and it's going to go on the front page of our website. So it's basically going to cost $2 more per 100.
Not much.
Well, we get an extra fireman.
Yes, sir.
You give us a secretary?
Chris can sleep at night.
That's right.
All right, good deal. Next on the agenda is Stockdale annexation.
Who?
You heard me.
Okay. Mr. Banks,
I'll get it started.
the Honorable Mr. Banks.
Banks, would you like to?
Banks, come on up to the table, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on, scoot up here somewhere.
All right.
Get up here to the
Chair or
table
something.
and
There again,
I'm sorry, Gary, let me put you back.
Administrator Thompson had invited me to the meeting to
No worries.
present myself before you guys to update you where we're sitting, whatever. He had made contact with my office a month ago, wasn't it, Chris? That we discussed, that you guys were wanting to pursue with the attorney's fees, or the attorneys about starting the process and getting everything to. My instruction to him at that period of time was, I've got some political problems that are going on. And one of them is we haven't got our nucleus of volunteers on board. And it is the opinion of our mayor that if we cannot get the support of our volunteers, that it's dead in water. And we do not, and from his office or my office, either one, do not want to come before you, go to the expense of an election, and we not have a more than positive attitude about getting it to pass, especially from our community. Right now, because of our fire chief is not on board, I can tell you that. There's political things that are going on, this, that, and the other, and his family is very large. And so if you just, in the realm of politics or whatever, as the mayor and I have discussed, well, we've got 100 to 200 votes that we have to get passed just to offset what his family, if he dictates his family how they need to vote. Even though that my council, all the council is in favor of moving forward with the issue. What I've asked through Chris, Chris, I would like you to go back to your board and ask them, give me till December. It will take me, between myself and some other aspects that we need to have tended to be able to try to get the temperament and attitudes to possibly change, because I have financially sat with them about a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan. Well, we've got the immediate situation, which what we need to take care of, taking care of. I said, Chris, you guys have done a real good job and a wonderful job. You've got the immediate situation taken care of. We have a hiccup, we still don't have coverage in the daytime. Our citizens want coverage are better than what you're providing. And one of the things that they don't understand, that the public don't understand, that, you know, from the days of yesteryear where all of our businesses downtown closed up, tended to the volunteer fire situation, then tended to the business came back, opened up, went back to business, we got nobody in town. So we have one or two people that have been unemployed through COVID or whatever that are able to be at the station at this point in time, but they get employed again, we're right back to the situation in the daytime that we have nobody. So those are things that I need to polish over or tend to and discuss as we move forward. And as I'm here to you guys, is I know there's a time frame that we have to follow whatever, and I do need this next 30 to 60 days to try to take care of the issue, and at that point in time, I will come back to your meeting and say, we either move forward or this baby's dead in the water. Because once again, Mayor Wolf is adamant. I've been involved and I know what it costs to have an election. And there's two situations in there. I don't want to go to the expense at this point in time and not have a real good chance about it passing. And the next thing is if it doesn't pass, then we got to wait 2 years before we have to try it again. We're just 2 more years down the road and trying to fix, the situations about coverage that we tend to. And as I stand here, are there any questions that I could answer for you guys?
No, I just think, that I've been kind of the liaison between, us and the attorney who kind of directs us in these annexation proceedings. And I just think that, that everybody needs to understand that the process actually takes 4 to 5 months just to prepare.
And I know that I'm taking it to the line.
There you go, okay.
Okay, I can tell you, I will know by the 1st of December, because there's some issues that I gotta take care of here in the next 2 weeks. Once I get past those issues and I make the presentation, I have not been before, or put myself before the volunteers meeting, and basically we talk structure, money, what's the plan, and their services are all appreciated of any volunteer or whatever, but they do not fathom what it takes. I have this whatever, and I give my time and we're capable of doing this, that, and other, but you just don't understand with legislation and docket what keeps coming up down the tubes about being able to take care of the population, which we have to take care of. And there again, we're not to the point of where the area is with the Livonia, but we have new residents that move when they can find property to buy every day. And when they move in, they come from an area that these services are readily available, and they don't ask for them, they want them. What's the deal? What's not taken care of? And so, from my office, and of course, talking to the county commissioners and our county judge, I know we're all in favor of trying to move forward with the issue, but we just need to take care of this political issue. And that's the only way I can explain this, is it's a political issue as we move forward, to make sure that it's not dead in the water before we even get started.
Yeah, the financial perspective, is definitely key in all of this, whether it's, the cost associated that we would have to shoulder for an election, as well as them understanding how much money it takes to run a modern fire department. And then, of course, you get into the fact that, to me, there's varying levels of service in this game. Are we going to provide a high level of service, or are we going to just get by? And I don't see how volunteer fire departments just get by anymore. I mean, that's why there's now almost 400 ESDs in the state of Texas, is because this isn't a problem local to Stockton. This is all across Texas, all across the United States. there's just not as many people volunteering.
Well,
And consequently, there's nobody to make the runs in the daytime, and then there goes your level of
You
service.
can't
And-
sell enough pancakes to run.
oh, no.
Yeah, and, you know, these guys are volunteering, and they end up spending more time playing, you know, fundraiser than they are actually firemen. And then nowadays, all the doggone credentials for, you know, just getting certificates to become a fireman, my gosh, that takes hundreds of hours. So, I mean, you know,
And
it's
then what-
an extreme,
What it takes
Commitment.
and how much money it takes to train them.
Oh, yeah.
And see, those are numbers that the majority or 90% of our body of volunteers don't have a clue. Do not have a clue. And so, you know, you tell somebody, first of all, it costs a minimum of $1,500 in training just to get them to where they can put on the bunker gear. And then it's $3,500 a head for their bunker gear before they can even step on the truck.
yep, and then you add the air
And I said
packs
so.
to it, every man walking around there with an air pack's $10,000.
Bingo. And I've got, and as, yeah, SCBA's, I have that inspection here in the next 30 days, and I have several that are gonna go out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as you try to get past these humps or whatever, but,
Well, I think we can probably work with you on something like that, it's just,
and if the timeframes, and I feel, even within 30 days or 6 weeks, and if I feel things haven't changed, or if I'm making progress, Chris and I stay in, not close contact, but we contact one another real regular about the temperament, what we need to do, how, and different things that go, and, you know, and we will continue to be, in that open dialogue as we move forward.
well, you know, I hope they understand that, you know, if we go forward, that they would still be welcome to be volunteers. We're gonna need volunteers. And as we were talking about earlier, I mean, it's so doggone expensive to have paid men. You know, anytime we put one guy on, it's like hiring 3 in any other business out there. You put on 2, and it's like hiring 6 people. I mean, just a standard fireman's position, you know, costs in the neighborhood of $200,000 a year.
Well,
So it's expensive, it's an expensive game, and, you know, we need the volunteers, is what I'm saying. We need them.
well,
So there's no drive to take over or get rid of any of these people. Of course, they need to be qualified and, you know, but at the same time, you know, we want volunteers.
but as you are sitting in this board and you have the experience that you have over operating the ESD1, you know the ins and outs or whatever. But in the initial, let's talk about the initial phase on, let's say, day one that you're sitting here. And the easiest way that I can describe this is I've got these playground kids that have these blocks, and I don't want you playing with any of my blocks. So I have to get, and this is the easiest way that I can, you know, this is.
There's not 5 of them in Stockdale, is there?
This is my backyard, yeah.
You know,
Get out of my sandbox.
and we did,
Uh-huh.
and there again, we dealt, you know, just, I wasn't in on ESD ones when they first came about, but of course, coffee shop gossip or whatever, the different difficulties that you had to get over to get past this situation to go here. I know that ESD3, as we came through, we still had, you know, these are my blocks, these are your blocks, let's put the blocks together and build a house. Well, but I want my house to look like this and that, but at the end thing, in result was, okay, we have a finally well-oiled machine that provides the service which our citizens want and demand.
That's what it's all
And-
about,
and-
service to the public.
And I have a job through my office, and with the assistance of the county judge and my county commissioner, we just have to, there's some tasks at hand, that the only way to put it is political tasks to get at hand and get past this. And I can't stress enough to you about how my mayor has more verbally than one time. I go, what do you think? He goes, if we cannot, out of due respect for our fire chief's office and him, here's the deal. We have got to get win their, responsibility and get them on our side of the fence before we move forward. And if we don't, I am not interested in ESD one, going to the expense or us going and even attempting it. So that's why I'm here tonight, is to reinforce, ask the board to please give myself and other powers that be at least 30 to 60 days before you.
I appreciate
I don't, I appreciate that. That's-
Yeah, we pretty much,
We need the players to all be on the same page.
yeah.
You know, and then hopefully, during this period of time, that we're successful in, to campaign for ourselves or whatever, to at least show all the facts, this, that, and the other, and move forward, because in visiting or whatever, the majority, you know, folks in the rural area, I ask them, you know, what's your opinion? And most of their opinions is, you know, well, tell me how I benefit, tell me how this, that, and the majority of them have all been in a pro manner. I don't feel that they would vote against them. Now, I have had some that, there again, no disrespect to the conversation that you had earlier, they go, well, I'm not gonna wanna pay a tax for that type of situation or whatever. And my explanation to them, because they have no idea what an ISO rating is and what that means to them. And of course, dealing with audits for the city of Stockdale and having to keep that audit. Of course, I audit and number is 6. So if we're virtually able to, as we, you know, men and come together, if we're at 4, or we go better by that period of time. And for my, as I explained to them, for every point that we get from 1 to 10, really and truly, that means $100 savings on your insurance policy. In the beginning, when I started my office and took the office of city manager 10 years ago, well, not every insurance company paid attention to the ISO rating. You know, USAA did it. There were a few more. You know, Hoheim has all the time. Most of your rural riders, Germania, Hoheim, some others, they all paid attention to it. That was the first thing they looked at. What's the ISO rating? Blah, blah, blah. This is what your rate is. Now, all of them do. First thing they look at, ISO rating, okay, this is what your premium is. And what I've noticed over asking questions is when you have that savings, and of course, my valuations aren't what your valuations are, but for a $200,000 to $300,000 home, you save them $100, $200 just off.
And that's an offset to the tax, so.
And so basically I tell them, all right, so as you look at the tax rate, is it paid to the insurance company or paid to the tax rate? Whichever one you want to, and it's gonna wash out. And I go, you know, you live in a $300,000 home, and I'll just give you, for instance, basically, it's gonna wash out, but if you took the number about what your tax cost you roughly 67 cents a day. So, for 67 cents a day, that's more than what you pay for a piece of bubble gum or a soda water, but at least you have a peace of mind. Don't drink the soda water today and have peace of mind. So basically, whenever you have those discussions, it's where it goes, and it comes that way. So with that, if there are any other questions that you'd like to ask me.
The thing is I've got to kind of pull back on the reins with Ken just a little bit. He's been just kind of chomping at the bits, ready to go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And I explained to him this situation recently, and he said, okay, let me know the day after. He's concerned that we were going to be so compressed after January 1 to get everything done that we might accidentally slip a deadline somewhere. But I think that December is probably a good time frame.
Yeah.
That gives us a little more breathing room in there, and I think Ken can live with that.
Let's go.
I think one of the biggest challenges when you do an annexation like this in the ESD world, you have to publish notice of public hearing twice in the paper, and your meeting can be no more than 30 days since the original publication. So right there, just to have the public hearing, that burns a month on that calendar for that one step and that one step alone. I think that's why he's wanting to try to get that public hearing out of the way, because everything else he can speed through. But that
I don't
public
know why
hearing,
it's
it
30
is what it is.
days. Because the majority of everything else is 15 to 16 days.
On this annexation, look under health and safety code.
Uh,
I know, you're trying to get me
Say
to,
why?
trying to explain the state, that's an impossible task, but it is what it is, so.
Correct. So, you know, from my desk, that's about all the news that I wish I had other.
We
news.
just appreciate the communication.
Everything positive. If there's no more questions, thank you very much for the invite.
Thanks for coming.
Well, we'll see you again.
Yeah,
Whatever
Did
you
you
want
sign
from
my, did you
me.
sign my middle?
yes, sir. Do I need to fill all this out
No, you
again?
don't, no,
Again?
no, it's on file, sir. Thank you.
With that,
Just
may I
write to the sheriff, note where
Yes,
to
sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
very
madam.
much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Take care, Mike.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
See you, Judge.
You bet, you bet.
Well, we covered our new business already, so, which is part of the.
Yep. So,
Dang, it's
With
almost
that-
Bill's time again.
Does anybody have any other discussion? Anybody else have anything? No?
On that
Bill?
issue, I think that's good.
Bill? Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
See.
It's 7:27. That's like an airplane.
2 meetings in an hour.
Thanks for coming out, John.